Do you have models for what you're doing? Do you have consciously think, okay, I want to approach it with, Rush Limbaugh's explosiveness, or, some other Bill O'Reilly's way that he treats guests or something? No, I'm just kidding. But
Right.
do you have models for when you're working on the air, or are you trying to still develop all that?
Well, yeah, it is a sort of in the works kind of thing in terms of a style to call my own. I haven't really hit one yet. There's been times on a couple of episodes where maybe for 30 or 40 seconds I'm really hitting a stride that I can say, this is me talking, this is how I talk about an issue. I kind of get my ideas from Edward R. Murrow. I get my ideas from Edward R. Murrow. He used to do these kind of special comment kind of sections in his show where, he'd have his thing, and I'm Edward R. Murrow, and this is what's going on, and yada, yada, this, that, and the other. But he had a very upfront, actual, here it is, black and white, see it for yourself, hear it for yourself, experience it for yourself kind of way, rather than a Rush Limbaugh where it's more of a dictation kind of thing. And, that works for him, it works for O'Reilly, whoever it works for. But for me, I'm not really trying to shove it down people's throats as much as I'm just trying to shove the issue down their throat. I'm not trying to shove my opinion down their throat. I'm not saying, believe what I'm saying. I'm just saying, look at this issue, you.
So who is your audience when you're shoving the issue down their throat? Whose throats are you shoving?
That is an interesting question. I feel like it naturally kind of goes towards youth. I think adults don't tune in, listen to some rambunctious 17-year-old sputtering off at the mouth about some topic and like, this is interesting. I think as a natural thing, as I speak, it kind of clicks with youth. So, yeah, I guess I speak with the youth in mind, but I'm kind of speaking for whoever wants to listen.
How have you gotten feedback from other people your age, and what kind of feedback did you get?
Well, I don't know that many of my peers watch or listen to the show. It's on at weird hours. It's hard to receive in Upper Arlington. You could be walking through your house and get it in one place and not in the other. I don't know of very many people that are listening. But in terms of, Dr. Lakey's and Mrs. Fountain, my two advisors, one is my teacher and one is, from Ohio State, they are very impressed with the way the closing arguments is done. Because of, I think, the amount of maturity I try to bring into the issue, rather than just saying, Dr. Strickland is a dummy, 200 days of school, that's not going to work, stop doing that, or, we're going to go tip over a car and light it on fire. Rather than having that approach about it, it's more like, well, I try and approach it practically, like, okay, well, 200 days of school, what's the extra 80 days going to do? What are we doing with the extra 4 weeks that is really going to, make Ohio the best place to come for education? What kind of message is this sending to students who need to go off and work for the summer? You're cutting their work period by 4 weeks. What are they going to do at that time? And again, really approaching it from okay, well, here's a practical standpoint. Here's how I feel about it as a youth. I don't understand the world of politics. I know how to yell at it, and I know how to, respond to it, but I don't understand what politicians do day to day. I don't understand Governor Strickland's job. I don't understand how, the education thing works, but I do understand how that affects me. And, and talking with that kind of manner has gotten me a really good response from those who do listen to the show. I know Eugene, who works over at WCRS, he's their audio guy there. He came in, he comes in, and I guess this goes more to a style thing, but he's like, going up on me, just be like, come on, do the voice, man, because I do have this very sort of authoritative voice when I do it, again, trying to get the message out there. But and my parents, who I've let listen to some of my shows,
You've allowed them to listen.
They've only listened to one. I recorded one that was sort of more personal to me. and I let them listen to it. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's like you bring this air of maturity about it. You're not just sputtering off at the mouth. You're not just ramming this stuff down people's throat. You're not just throwing out these wild facts. You're not just being angry at a microphone and people are listening to it. You're actually presenting some information for people to chew on, to digest, and to think about.
All right. So what are your plans now that you've done this for a while? Is this something that you're seeing building into your academic career and you're going to go into broadcasting, God forbid journalism, something like that? What are your plans?
Well, my hope for a future career is actually one in film. It's been sort of a passion of mine. I enjoy making movies. I enjoy everything about it. Just got done a couple weeks ago doing a final project for a film class, made a 20-minute film completely from scratch, did all the sound effects, did all the shooting, did all the production type stuff. And it's a love of mine. I mean, personally, I go to bed every night and I look at myself and I say, the reason you're here on this earth, Miles Price, is to do films. But that's a personal thing of mine, I guess. But yeah, I love all things talking. I love all things expressing thought. I think, film, television, radio, politics. Heaven forbid I have to get into politics, but I love the idea of expressing things to people. I love sharing my ideas with people, and I love to get ideas from other people. I love sitting in a room with people that are just talking about something and having a really intelligent, bright conversation. If it's a movie and we're having a conversation about, oh, wow, this cinematic style, amazed me and how this actor, or if it's politics, just be like, this guy's doing this. But I love sharing ideas with people. I love getting people's ideas. Yeah, as a future, if film doesn't work out, I think radio would be a good place for me. I also think that I could do broadcast television. I've really kind of developed myself a plans A through Z in case film doesn't work out. But yes, radio is on that future plan should film fall through.
So tell me, WCRS has, I think, 2 channels that it broadcasts at. What are those channels?
I believe it's 98.3 FM and 102.1 FM.
And do you know when your show generally airs?
Youth Beat airs on Mondays at 7:30. 7:30 p.m.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming in, talking to us. I appreciate it. Do you think you could give us the call letters in the authoritative voice you were talking about earlier?
And you can turn into Youth Beat Radio at 7:30s on Mondays on WCRS. Hope to hear you and see you then.
And thank you very much, Miles Price.